They say my generation full of dough. We tell them thanks, this is our year. But on the real, they saying slow your roll. As if we don't, we gonna die, but we like it. They don't know what life is. My homie, if he heading to the party, we like it. And that poison be pricey, and they gon' get you hypey. But if you ain't throwing down, then stay at home with your wife. And straight out the bottle.
Guys, we're back in Milwaukee Junction where we sat down with Michelin starred chef Jared Gadbaw at Oaken. This is one of the finest restaurants in Detroit. So come sit down, listen to this conversation, and see why you should come to Oaken as your next stop in Detroit. Let's get into it. So pretty much every time I do a little bit of reading about whoever we're interviewing. So I like to say we're half prepared. We're half prepared, but we still want to learn a little bit. He doesn't know anything, so everything you tell him will be like, wow, that's nice.
Over here we got focaccia for the day. So every day we make our own bread.
Oh man.
And we make as much. We make cheese, we make bread, we make pasta all in house. So, you know, it's a 2-day step. You're gonna make the poolish overnight, mix it, let it rise. You see it's about an hour into that process.
So garlic makes everything better.
Yes. So wait, what's the dish we're having again?
So I'm making lumake, which is a spinach pasta. And it's got crustacean stock, tomato sauce, garlic, olivada, which is like olive, caper, sun-dried tomatoes, sort of. 6 plus more we could fit over there.
Yeah, okay. Is that just like a you guys thing, or is it all normally black?
It's definitely a classic. It's classic put squid ink in some pastas, and we're using it as the sauce.
Okay, nice.
We're here.
This is the money shot right here.
Here we go, the money shot.
Money shot, let's go.
Oh yeah, that's what everyone wants to see for sure.
All right, you try that one first. I'll try this one first.
All right.
Oh my god,
That's really good.
it's amazing.
It's amazing. I was curious if the squid ink would actually change the flavor or not. But maybe it is, and I don't even know.
No, that's good.
Wow.
Which one do you like more?
I like that one though.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't
This
order
is really
usually when
good.
I go out, but I know my wife's gonna die over this, so I
It's
gotta
just-
bring it home for her.
It's just a sweeter taste. Like I'm more.
No, it's
Or what is it?
it's herby. It's like the pesto.
The pesto, yeah.
So good.
I know the lumaques. We've had that since like day one of the first few weeks.
Yeah.
This is the one you said you like the most?
Yeah, that's usually my go-to.
Yeah.
The squid ink changes the flavor.
Probably. Yeah,
it's
it
gotta do
changes the
something
flavor
to it,
of the
right?
pasta itself.
Yeah.
This is crazy good.
All right, Off the Block presents Oaken. We're with Jared Gadbaw.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for having us here. So we like to get started, get to know a little bit about you. So we were talking downstairs a little bit about your journey in New York and your Italian journey. So maybe, and you went to culinary school in France?
No, I went in New York.
In New York,
Manhattan, yeah.
Okay, so kick us off with culinary school before you get into the real world, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I grew up here, the son of a auto industry. My dad was a mechanic, and so I grew up kind of in car dealerships. And when I graduated college, I was kind of aimlessly wandering. My dad offered me a job in the car dealership, and I was like, man, there was a night, an epiphany, and I saw this ad for culinary school in New York. My brother was living there, and I was like, man, if I don't get out of here now, I'm going to be here forever, and I'm like, and so I called up my brother. He was kind of in hedge funds at the time, so I had some extra cash, and I was like, hey, can you help me get there? Help me with the loan, give me a place to stay. And he presented something that was, very fair deal. And so I said, all right, I signed up, and 6 months later moved to Manhattan to go to culinary school. And that school was a short school. It was a 6-month program for just a cool 32 grand. But it got me out of Michigan, got me in the, got my foot in the door in New York, and I just started working and kind of worked my way through some restaurants. Ended up at a restaurant called 11 Madison Park, which,
Well known.
went on to become, one of the top restaurant in the world for a couple of years, and is still a very, well-known, respected place. And then after that, I met a chef named Michael White, who really changed my trajectory significantly. Another Midwestern, German descent guy cooking Italian food in New York. And, at that time, he was kind of that pasta guru. He was on this trajectory, this up and coming trajectory. And, he's a very charismatic individual. He's like sold me on this dream, offered me less money than I was getting offered other places, more hours. But I was like, man, I really like this guy. So, he's like, sky's the limit. All right, I see the upside here. And so I went to be his sous chef at a place called Alto that was like Northern Italian cuisine. And, my training at that point was mostly French, right? I'd worked in one Italian restaurant for about 8 months for the Bastianich Fatale group, and as a cook. But this was going to be a sous chef role, a little bit more involved, a little more expectations, right? I had to create dishes and monitor and coach and train, and so I just kind of started doing it and started creating dishes that were heavy French technique, but with that Italian mindset of like the ingredient matters most, right? That whatever that focus, whatever's on that plate, that's the focus needs to stand out the best. And Daniel Hum, who's the chef at La Madison, was really good at like developing flavors, right? So if you're cooking carrots, you're going to juice carrots and you're going to cook the carrots in the carrot juice. So you're going to have like carrots on steroids. And that's kind of the approach that I took, that I kind of married those two, where it's like, all right, I can make these ingredients sing, and I can do a dish that has 3 focal points on it. But I'm going to do it in a way where it's technically sound. I've created the stocks, the sauces, the oils, the infusions, whatever it is, to get maximum flavor out of each of those ingredients. And the first few dishes, I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of just would throw a cipollini on them just to make it seem more Italian. It wouldn't be a soubise, it would be a cipollini, or an agrodolce or something like that. So, but Michael and I he had a heavy French background as well. And so the two of us, Northern Italian is a little more butter friendly. There's a lot more dairy, fats in the dishes up there. So it was, I think, the perfect kind of step into Italian cuisine, and it still is a heavy influence, in my cooking.
Awesome.
today.
So, go ahead.
Well, from the start, like your family's in the auto industry, you don't want to do that. What really was like? Did you just like pick a random career? Like, what really drew you to being a chef?
I like to party my whole life, right? I like the tailgates that you're talking about. I come from a family. My dad's side of the family is really big. There's 20 grandkids. I got 7 aunts and uncles. And my grandmother used to have these big, events, holidays, birthdays, whatever. She lived in Farmington, so I just remember going, and I loved that like conviviality, that that hospitality, that bringing people around, no matter how dysfunctional your family is, no matter how bad of a situation it is, people can generally come together around food.
Yeah.
That's what Thanksgiving
And
Christmas
even just
is
like,
all about.
I don't know, if the food's good enough, you don't talk.
Yeah.
Right? You just like keep, if it's the table's quiet, that means you've done your job, and like people are happy, and it was the one kind of unifying thing throughout my life that really kind of brought me in a place that I felt good.
Yeah.
And that continued in high school. Our house became like the house where everybody would come to on the weekends. Then college, everybody came back. We'd all come to my house, and I'd start cooking by then. And I actually studied hospitality business in college.
Okay, yeah.
Where'd you go to college?
Michigan State.
Okay. Oh, by the way, quick question while you're going, is that your parking spot, the number one Spartan fan? We have a buddy in our group chat. He's like, he loves going. He's the best place in Detroit is Oaken Real. He was just here a few days ago. And I just took a video. I said, oh, he looks like Bobby was here. Look at him. He's got his own parking spot here. But that's your
caddy.
spot.
Yeah,
I thought that was, I thought you met him and I thought that might be his spot. But no. Okay.
No.
It's you.
No, one of my, we used to have a security guard out there and he put it up one day and I was just like,
That's awesome.
that's awesome, man.
That is awesome.
So that is your spot. I thought it might be.
Was the security guard a Michigan fan?
Was he a Michigan fan? Probably. Everybody that didn't go to Michigan State is a Michigan fan.
Right. That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
And I don't think
Hey,
he went to
we went to
Michigan
Grand
State.
Valley.
fan.
I am a State fan.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
Iowa
you can go
State?
both ways. Yeah.
No.
No, I'm a Michigan State
Oh,
fan.
you're Michigan State. Yeah. You're,
Yeah, Grand Valley's,
it's
we're
good blue
close
collar.
enough.
It's good blue collar upbringing you got there. Yeah.
That's right.
I actually have a lot of questions from your story to unpack, whether it's the pasta, Michael White, lot to unpack there, and I have questions here. But the first question we got to find out, did you start out by washing dishes in the industry? Because everyone we talk to,
Every single person.
everyone's like, well, I started washing dishes.
I washed dishes in college
Okay.
for
So yes.
maybe a month.
Okay. Sure.
I'm sure, I don't think I ever changed. I don't think anybody ever taught me how to wash a dish properly. So I don't think I ever changed the water in the machine. Like, I'm sure I washed some really dirty dishes.
Okay.
Now dishwashing is like my favorite job in the kitchen because it's instant gratification, right? They go in dirty, they come out clean. It's like, I enjoy cleanliness.
Yeah.
And, to see that instant transformation, washing dishes is my current favorite job in the kitchen. But no, I didn't spend a lot of time washing dishes. I had a couple of internships at Michigan State that they forced on me.
Yeah.
I did one at a convention center, so I'd make just tray after tray of fruit platters and count out 2,000 like-sized potatoes for a banquet or whatever. And then I worked at a place called Clara's. It's like just a local fast casual, but it was busy as shit, right?
Gotcha.
On the weekends, I did the salad bar restocking. On the weekdays, I think I did like the fryer and griddle for my internship.
So you moved around even before you got your start out there.
Yeah, and then I moved to New York. And
so one of the questions I also like to ask is, from your culinary experience, what do you think are the biggest takeaways from going to school that you didn't know before you started there? So, from either like the sauces, the cutting technique, what did you take away?
So I was very fortunate. I went to the French Culinary Institute.
That's why I thought you studied in
2000. The French Culinary Institute in like 2002. And my instructors were Jacques Pepin, Alain Sayac, Jacques Torres, like some of these legendary French chefs that you see on TV, you read their books, their cookbooks. I mean, it was a really special moment in time, and I really got to get my foot into this world that was on the tail end of existence, let's say. And so that's kind of why I talked about downstairs, that importance of that tradition, is kind of instilled in me. I saw it from, these generational chefs that made a difference in so many people's career and in the trajectory of cooking in general. So, when it was cassoulet day, Chef Sixto would come in because he was from Lyon or, from the region where, this dish was made and his grandmother's recipe. I mean, it was just like this incredibly influential time in my life. But I will say that when I was running Maria, every intern that came into my door, I told them to stop wasting their time at culinary school and just work. Yes.
So was your takeaway was maybe tradition?
For me, it was, my program was 6 months. So I learned a lot in a short period of time, and it allowed me to go out and get a job in New York City.
Yeah.
Whereas this white, this boy from Detroit or, greater metro area who worked at a convention center, for 8 months during an internship,
Kinda
would get
legitimized.
laughed out of, any restaurant, any credible restaurant in
It's kind of
Manhattan.
like getting a degree in college. You
Yeah.
feel like you're legitimized. Like I did this. I
Yeah.
learned, some of the intangibles that
Yeah.
maybe you wouldn't have if you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go
and
to
same
school.
with any industry. Like if the job I do outside of this, if I didn't need college, if I would have just not gone to college and just started doing that 4 years earlier, I would have learned more and been ahead of the game. Like you're saying, without going to culinary school. Same thing.
Also, this was a period of time when you couldn't just Google everything.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this was 2002. Like, I didn't have a phone in my
Right.
pocket that could
how I
tell me
cook.
how to make a fume or what a Parisienne scoop is, or Brunoise or a Macédoine. Like all these French techniques that you got to know at least how to make a stock and some of these basic things to even walk in the door at a restaurant.
Right.
Good point.
I needed to have that. I had a little notebook in my pocket with the dimensions and sizes and ingredients and stocks and all that stuff. And it was,
Nice.
So what can the average guy do or girl do to up their pasta making game at home?
I think you need to look at flours. What flour you're buying, what's the best one? What your goal is. Well, we use 4 different flours depending on what shapes we are, right? There are flours for elasticity, which gives you like spring for like longer pastas. And there are flours for plasticity, which will hold its shape, right? Like a rigatoni or something, like that. So you're using, and then there's different grinds for each of those flours. So you have semolina, which is a coarser grind. It'll give you more like al dente bite. You've got doppio zero. That'll give you, more elasticity. I mean, it really depends on what you're doing.
Okay. Okay.
But just making pasta with AP flour, I'm sorry, but it's not going to come out.
It's not going to cut it.
No.
All right. So we really got to
Yeah.
focus in on the flour.
Yeah.
I like that. Real quick, best pasta dish to you, best sauce and noodle.
I make gnocchi every day.
Gnocchi, that's your go-to.
I think that, whether it's potato or ricotta, you can kind of have 2 different versions of it that play well with different ingredients depending on the season. Like right now, later on, you guys will taste the ricotta. It's got some basil pesto, which is kind of the end of our, summer menu. But next week, we'll go to a potato gnocchi with black truffle and taleggio, and it'll have this like earthy qualities that'll play nicely with all of that. So
Nice.
I'm going to say gnocchi. I don't have a particular sauce. Gnocchi bolognese, gnocchi with pesto, gnocchi.
Bolognese
whatever.
is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Kopi, what do you got, man? You got any questions that come to mind?
Yeah. I mean, so how do we get from your experience in New York and all that to opening a place like this? Like, how did that jump? Tell us about that, because I feel like it's a big jump.
So I was in New York for 15 years, right? So I met Michael White in year 4, let's say. And I went to work for him at this place called Alto. Alto was great. We went on, we got earned a Michelin star, and Michael, we're sitting out back smoking a cigarette one night, and he was like, hey, I want you to we're going to open a new restaurant on Central Park South. It's going to rival the greats of New York, La Bernardin, Jean-Georges, Daniel Boulud. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, chef. Like, give me a break. But I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Get out of here.
But I'm
Totally
absolutely in. So 2009, Maria opens, and it like just instantly runaway success, win every award, James Beard Award, Best New Restaurants,
With you in the kitchen every
times. Yeah, I mean, it was a grind, right? Like
Nice.
when you open a restaurant in New York, there's the Times Review. And the Times Review is the end all be all of
You're going to make it.
whether you're going to make it.
Yeah.
And the general policy or unspoken policy is if you're the chef of a restaurant, you do not miss a service until that Times Review comes out. So I was there. I mean, I was there. And so what happened is we open, and about 2 to 3 months into opening, the Times switches their reviewers. So then there's a gap between when that reviewer ends, the next review begins. So it was like 9 months where I was just there every single service, every single day. I mean, 70, 80 hour work weeks for 9 months. but you put your head down, and we got a 3-star, 3 out of 4 stars. It was great. The next year we earned a Michelin star, which again, now all of a sudden we're going to all the events, we're traveling the world. Next year after that, we get 2 Michelin stars.
Oh, wow.
And then it was just like, the location, it was just right place, right time.
Yeah.
It was kind of right after the 2008 recession, and some of these reviewers are like, "How dare you charge $60 for Dover sole?" And I'm like, I don't know. Dining room's full.
Yeah. People are still paying.
Supply demand, baby.
Manhattan. It didn't have the same feel in Manhattan on Central Park South that it did maybe here in Detroit or most of the country for that matter. So, and it just like was one of those places that just changed the trajectory of my career, my future. I got to open, a restaurant in Istanbul, Hong Kong. I've cooked on 5 continents.
Do you have ownership in any of these ones that you open? So you kind of you step away afterwards?
Yeah.
Is it like leaving a child behind? Like
kind of, but you still get to go back every now and again. And like, I don't know, I said earlier, like, sometimes it's good to be the grandparent versus the dad.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like, you're like, here's, Dad's going to watch you every day and do all the grind work, and I'm going to come in and kind of take some credit and change the menu and, go out to dinner with the partners or whatever. And, but the people on the ground have to do the.
Do you have a business partner here at Oaken Reel, or is it
my wife?
you too? Awesome. That's the best business partner you can have as a wife. No doubt, for sure. Quick question, something I don't really understand is how the Michelin star works. So you're in the kitchen firing away 80, 90 hours a week. Michael White's the head guy, Michelin stars. One, what do they give you with Michelin star? They give you like a plaque, like a ring, or like a WWE belt, or like what do they give you?
I wish we got a belt.
That'd be
You
sweet.
do. You get a plaque, right? And you display it. You
Yeah.
display it. You're in the magazine. Back then in New York, like there was what was it? Zagat, right? Zagat was
Zagat
like
guide.
Zagat,
the Zagat guide, right? It was like it told you everything about where you wanted to eat, right? What the cuisine was, what the service was, what the decor was. And so, that mattered. And then Michelin, Zagat was like a New York specific, right? You're in New York, you're looking up Zagat, you're figuring out where to eat. Michelin is like, now you're like, it's a global thing, right? So like people coming to New York, Europeans, South Americans, Asians, wherever it is, they're looking at Michelin. They're like, all right, let's, they don't know about Zagat. They're looking at Michelin. They're like, all right, well, there's 5 2 Michelin star restaurants in Manhattan. Let's go eat at one of them.
So I guess my question more so is, how are those stars divided? Like you keep that under your title since you were like a executive chef there, or does that go straight to, Michael White, for instance, at those restaurants? How does that work?
It's the restaurant specific. So it's Maria, 2 Michelin stars.
Okay.
And so I don't it's not like Jared Gadbaw is a 2 Michelin star
Well,
chef.
it should
but,
be if you're
But
the
I
one
ran
running.
it for, and I kept those stars for 9 years.
Yeah.
And every year, you're re-reviewed, you're retested, reevaluated.
So do you get tested here now?
No, there are no.
Well, yeah.
There is
Michigan.
no grading in Michigan at all.
Just
Like,
New
there's-
Jersey is kind of
there's
the
no
thing.
Zagat. There's not even like a weekly restaurant review.
Which I would assume you guys would like.
I think it would be. I don't know why there's not, right? There's publications, the Times, the Washington Post. There are some reviewing systems that really do like get people excited about dining out, right?
Oh, yeah.
And Our Magazine does their restaurant of the year, but that's one, and we won it in 2021, and it was and it was great. 2022 was great, but to kind of get that, to have that to look forward to, I think it would benefit the local restaurant scene
For sure.
I think kind of have getting people on the radar, getting suburbanites interested in some restaurants through some of this exposure.
Well, I got good
Would be
news.
good for everybody.
There is a rating system in Michigan now, and it's off the block.
All right.
I can't give you any stars yet. We got to try the pasta later. You're going to get a a from us.
We're easy customers.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be 10 star. What are we at? What are we on a 10 star rating?
I think, let's do
Can't have
let's do
too
something
many.
weird.
Let's
do like 7.
3,
Maybe
maybe
not
4.
even stars.
Yeah.
We got to come up with something else.
Let's 5 and 10's too old. Let's do something weird.
Okay. Yeah.
It's our next venture.
8. Yeah. So, anyways, Michael White. So he sounds like a big influence in your life, and that name was ringing a bell when I was looking. I'm like, why do I know that name? And then why it rung a bell because he opened Mika in Coral Gables. I don't know. So have you been there?
No.
So my wife is in that same development. She has her gelato shop. We went to Mika. It's amazing.
Cool.
And I had a bolognese there, and
Yeah.
it was incredible. So that was my first intro to his restaurant.
Yeah.
So kind of I'm tailing with Michael White, and then now you're in a leadership role. One of the things I wanted to know was, what does it take for an individual like yourself to learn his menu? Like, does it like take you several weeks to learn how he likes things cooked? Does that take months? Is there, take a week? And then on the other side, how do you feel it takes to teach someone your creations and what you like specifically about your dishes?
I think it depends on the chef. I think it depends on relationship, right? Developing trust through multiple factors, not just, trust what's on the plate, but trusting, someone to run your operation, to keep, the equipment, the space, to not, to keep it moving in a meaningful path forward is kind of where it starts. And then to develop a similar palate. Like I said, I think Michael and I were on we were much closer than a lot of people would have imagined, based on my history and his history. So it didn't take us long to kind of come to the middle. And then, just naturally as a human being, if you see that someone can do something really well, which thankfully I could at that time, you're more predisposed to let them kind of do some of the work and kind of like focus on, at that point in time, he's opened a lot of restaurants. So he's like, you seem to have this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go open 4 more restaurants. I'll see you on Saturday type thing. So, for he and I, it happens, I'd say over the course of 2 years.
That's still quite some time.
2 years, Maria, once Maria kind of got a second Michelin star, it was like, we created the first menu together, but it was like, here's my idea. Jared, go create the recipe, bring it to me. I'll taste it. I'll adjust it. Go create the recipe.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it started. And then it was like, all right, chef, do you want to taste this? Yeah. Chef, do you want to taste this one? Yeah, maybe I'll get there. Chef, do you want to taste this? No, I trust you.
And do you have that now in a leadership role? Do you have that yet? Or are you still developing?
No, I think that's a lifelong thing. But again, in this particular restaurant, I don't have 4 other restaurants, right? And I don't want to being honest, I don't want to make myself, I like what I do, right? I don't want to give my job away to somebody because I like coming in here. I like cooking. I like having my hands in the food. I like seeing people's reaction, being part of people's, celebrations, birthdays. I like being here.
Yeah.
So yes, I have it. I have an amazing team that, probably my average, we've been open 5 years. My guess is my average cook has been here 3 years.
Awesome.
My average kitchen staff has been here 3 years.
And I found in Detroit the best places, and we've talked to some of the best places. That is one of the things each one of them has in common. They have that reliable staff, or at least a core part, because that's always changing.
Yeah.
But you have a core that you have that trust and that belief. And let me ask about the complexities between I was looking at the menu. There's the seafood, there's the pasta. What are the complexities for you, someone who's experienced in cooking a seafood and in cooking a pasta? What are those complexities for each one? I don't know if that makes sense to you.
For me, I get it. It all comes down to technique and balance, right? Technique, you got to start with good sound technique to make the pasta shapes, have the right recipes to make the pastas the way you want it. So they have the right, texture. That's number one, right? You're building these foundations,
Yeah.
right? And then here, instead of just using pasta water, if I've got a shellfish pasta, we're going to make shrimp stock and, we're going to reinforce it with shrimp. So it's part of that, like we talked about earlier, we're building these flavors, right? If I got shrimp, I'm going to make it more shrimpy. If I got chicken and meat, I'm going to make it more meaty.
Yeah.
And so we're building all these flavors so that it might seem like why in the hell would I pay $24 for a bolognese? But because it's every step of the way is the best meat, the best, tomatoes, the best tomatoes, everything has been researched. and, analyzed and, reconsidered if something else comes along, so that we're delivering and building upon these techniques. And then to finish, you got to have balance. You got to have acidity. You got to have, different, you got to have bitterness, sweetness. You got to have all these things that come together in a way where, you probably wouldn't think to add some lemon juice in like a meat pasta, but we do.
Yeah.
Because it brings some brightness. Maybe it's not lemon juice, maybe it's a splash of vinegar, maybe it's something, but you got to have a little heat. You got to have a little, acid. You got to have a little fat. You got to have, all of these things that just build to, something that you put in your mouth and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is delicious. I know you talk to the Gregos guy, they're like, how do you make a good burger? He's like, just put salt on it. And it's true. I mean, it's
simple
but
sometimes,
there's these little simple things that
I
you
love
don't
that.
think
I love
about.
that line. That line he said when he goes, "No, you're just getting full flavor."
Yeah, you just season-
I was
just
like, I
season it,
watched
yeah.
that so many times. You're just getting full flavor.
Where's the seafood aspect of this place come from? I feel like we've talked a lot about Italian dishes and you have a lot of background on that, but why did you have a heavy influence of seafood here?
I mean, Morea's a seafood restaurant.
Yeah.
And
A lot of experience.
Not just experience.
Someone once told me that, you open a good seafood restaurant, you'll be busy forever.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know that they said, I don't know if they,
That's great.
I don't know if they would have inserted open a good seafood restaurant in Detroit and you'll be busy forever, because it doesn't really big city, Detroit. We didn't grow up. I didn't grow up eating seafood. Orange roughy, maybe some salmon, some murdered broiled salmon or something like that. But
it's not like you're catching something fresh out of the Detroit River either.
No, there's not. But we have the Great Lakes, and there's some options.
I feel like walleye.
I love walleye, but
to me,
how often do you guys crave seafood?
I do love seafood, and
You're like, hey, I'm going out for seafood. This
No,
week.
not going out, but I keep shrimp in the freezer just in case. Just fry up some shrimp with some rice.
Okay,
At least once a week.
all right.
I like
That's
it once
good.
a week. Once a week.
But it's not something that is heavily ingrained in our
100%.
DNA here in Michigan.
Yeah,
That is true.
yeah.
So when we open, I'm like, and in hindsight,
It's
if
more
I,
meaty stuff that's gonna make you full while you're cold in the winter.
Yeah. When we opened, it
Potatoes.
was a lot more seafood, and kind of every year I've kind of trimmed it, more veg, a little more meat.
Okay.
But it started with just if you Google Jared Gadbaw, I'm sure there are plenty of articles of Jared and seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some reading. Did you?
Yeah.
I always do a little bit. I'm like the wild card of the podcast. He comes in with all the questions. I'm just back here just saying random.
Well, he's prepping for his tailgate. In
I got a tailgate.
20 minutes here. It's,
Yeah. I got a question. I got one that I wrote down. It's not an important question, but do you make people say yes, chef?
no.
Is that a real thing? Yeah.
I grew up, it was we chef. It wasn't even yes chef. It was we chef.
You had to say it in
Oh,
French.
absolutely. We chef. At
chef.
11
I'm
Madison
gonna make
Park,
you start saying that to me.
you had to say it in unison.
You got to go to culinary school.
We chef. It was. But here in Detroit, you know what they say?
Fuck you.
Heard.
No.
Heard?
Heard.
Like I heard you.
Really?
Like I heard.
Heard. That's it. That's what you
Heard.
get.
Okay.
And I was like, believe me, when I moved here,
You're like, no.
my expectations were I had this
High
employee
level
handbook, no visible tattoos, no unnatural hair colors, no this, no that. And my GM is just like, you're out of your mind. There is no way in hell we're going to get anybody to work for us here. So you need
Talent pool.
You need to tone this down.
Yeah.
And we did, and it's I don't
By
know.
sheer population, though, you're talking New York, you're talking 10 plus million. Now you're talking in suburban Michigan, 5. It's like half. It's even less than that, probably, because you consider the suburbs. So people who live close by.
You're looking at hundreds of thousands.
Well, just in
here,
Detroit's 100,000, but the suburbs and surrounding
Yeah.
areas.
So honestly, it just it evolved. I realized that where I'm at, I personally don't need to work as hard as I did in New York to maintain Michelin stars. I can make people happy with that same mindset, but without the added fuss.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I kind of like it.
And Detroiters appreciate that more than they do.
Nah, yeah.
For sure.
Honestly,
So
people are turned off by overly extravagant things.
Yeah, I think Detroit's that
in
way.
here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because again, my wife's Brazilian. She's always dressed up. They're always, they dress up when they go out. And I'll wear this out. She's like, you can't wear that. I'm like, well, in Michigan, you kind of can. I go,
It's
maybe
true. It's very different.
You kind of can.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
So, what did I have down?
So I always like to ask about the name. And
I was just gonna jump into that.
Look at that.
Did you read it? Why?
no. So there's a story. So what I was gonna say is like, I just see Oaken Reel. I assume, okay, you're burning oak, you're catching fish. Is it that
There you
simple,
go.
or is there
That's
more?
simple.
Is there
There
more?
is one.
Wait, the
more
reel I thought was for
there is
something.
one more little twist to it, but yes, it is generally that simple.
Okay.
But this lovely area that's surrounding us, is a historic district.
Okay.
It is the Jam Handy district, and historically, it was the largest movie production location in the country in the early 1900s, like more
really?
so than like Hollywood.
Wow.
So, the double
reel.
entendre of like
Oh,
movie
that's-
reel
that's
and fishing reel. That
I
is
really-
the only
that's
little
awesome.
twist that I have.
Did you
But-
know that or
No, and I
'Cause
think,
it's on
I
the
think that's
website,
awesome because,
or
like I said,
something.
I assumed it was other restaurants we've talked to. I'm like, I have no idea like where that name comes from. I'm like,
It's
this one,
hard to pick a name, man.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what I was gonna
I
ask.
went through months and months of like, twisting my kids' names into different words that might make
What's your kids'
sense.
names?
Oliver and Everly.
Okay.
So it was
That's-
like, I did
that's
have this
pretty
like
good.
Yeah.
Eve Aroli. I was like, maybe that could work, but it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I don't know. Someday we'll open another restaurant. We'll open it.
yeah.
I'll spin.
Do you
off
want to
of their
open
kids.
another restaurant?
Oh, we have something in the works already. So
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
yeah.
Is that all,
We'll
is
look
that all
forward
you
to
can
that.
say, or can we?
Yeah, that's it for
It's
now.
fair. It's fair.
That's fair. So this building, you guys rent this building out?
We do.
It's 9,500 square feet is what I read.
Something like that.
And you guys utilize it all for dine. I mean, obviously there's the kitchen back there and there's the kitchen downstairs. Does that include that bar we were talking about?
Yeah, so we've got the restaurant as you see it up here in the main dining room. It's got about 120 seats if you include the bar. Downstairs we have 2 private dining rooms that can kind of open into one, so we can host parties of 14 or 24, or open it up to 40. We have a little cocktail bar in the basement that is currently closed, but we use it for private event space as well. So if you want to host your New Year's Eve parties, birthday parties, whatever, we can put a bartender down there, put some food in it, and that seats about 30 or so. So yeah, we use when I started looking at restaurants, I wasn't like, you know what I really need? A 9,000 square foot monster.
That's what I thought when
monster
I read it. I was
restaurant.
like, God damn, that's huge.
Yeah. And granted, this was 2018 and there was a different feel to, the city and, its trajectory and how many people were coming down to work on a daily basis. The stats
Right.
Yeah.
were saying something.
Yeah.
And so I started looking and I was looking in the 6,000 square foot, somewhere I could have, 85 seats and another 30 person private dining.
Yeah.
But this place, I don't know, it kind of spoke to me. I like the tall ceilings. I like the industrial. I like the parking lot. We got a great parking lot.
That's huge.
For people coming in from out of town, or even just people coming from different parts of town. We're not walking here. We're not taking public transportation. So we got great parking. And, location, proximity to the Fisher. There was just a lot of things that I kind of liked about this space.
Yeah.
That, kind of drew me here. And
That's awesome.
it was, it was probably more than I need. And it's not really like a day-to-day thing, but, to build out 9,000 square feet, that's a different feel than to build out, 6,000 square feet.
Yeah. I mean, earlier when we went back and, watching you do the pasta, I expected to go through that door and then you're going to be right there. But then I'm like, oh no, they're all the way downstairs.
Yeah.
So you have 2 kitchen setups.
Yeah.
How does that work?
There's like a prep kitchen. I mean, again, this place is built, Maria. I just come from New York, right? I was like, man, it's a big city that's going to have big city feels. People are going to eat, from 5 o'clock until 10 o'clock. And it's, we're going to crank and so in order to do that, you got to have space. You got to be able to do it. I can seat 100 people for dinner in here.
Yeah.
I got to be able to plate 100 plates.
Makes sense.
Right. We have weddings and things like that. You know, we can do all of your events, any size really.
Yeah.
So you got to have space for it. You know, you got to have the walk-in space. You know, we do just a lot of things that you kind of need space for. And I'm a chef, and I wanted my kitchen to be
Sick.
nice.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
So
I got to make the decisions.
What was this building before? Do we say that?
In the 80s, I think it was it was like a film. It was never a crack house. It was like a film development place. Like I meet guests every now and again. Like, 'cause I used to work here in the 80s and 90s, and they would develop films.
So when you took it over, I mean, was it just completely gutted? Like you had to start from scratch, or
It was like Saw. You've seen Saw, right? It's kind of like that.
It was like Saw, just a little less.
There was
gory.
no windows anywhere, right? It was all like bricked up.
You found people like
so the
chained in the basement?
landlord kind of did the facade, right, and presented a gray box.
Yeah.
And then I had to come in and pour the concrete. And,
Oh wow.
I mean, it was a beast.
So that two questions with that, since you're renting it, and I don't know if you're willing to share, but like, how much is it a month to? I guess I have three questions. How much is it a month to rent? Like here,
it's less than it would be downtown.
Okay, I got an idea. We've asked other people, and then all in all, would you sink into it to your own money to get it up to this beautiful look?
Of my money, or it costs about $3 million to get open.
Oh,
okay.
Fuck. God damn,
That's
it's
everything.
beautiful.
You just renovate like everything.
You could not do that.
Now here's my question.
You could not do that now.
Yeah.
This space would
Exactly.
cost double that.
Yeah.
So now here's my question. Since you are renting it, say at the end of the lease, they're like, oh, we're going to charge you a crazy amount. You're like, no, I'm not doing that. So you want to leave. Do all the stuff you paid for, what do you get to take it with you? That's fucked.
That's
I
crazy.
can take the tables and chairs that have been
And the
used
glasses.
but I've got a
What about the
10-year
kitchen stuff?
10-year lease with 2 5-year
options.
Okay.
So like, I don't know.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's
still here in
it's
20.
a long time.
If I'm still here, it feels like that scene in Good Will Hunting, man. If I'm still here in 20 years, you know,
You're doing great.
yeah, maybe I am doing great.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just burying me in the grease trap downstairs.
No, I always wondered that, like people, because obviously you can either own a building or rent, and it's just like I feel like you could get pushed out of a place where you're like, I sunk all this money, and now someone can move in with all the stuff I invested.
You know what? I hope that I got 4.5 more years left on that. I hope that this neighborhood is so popular in 4.5 years that my rent goes up, significantly. But
it's a good way to look at it.
That is
you
a good way
know,
to look at it.
we're 5.5 years in, and it looks pretty much the same as it did,
Right.
7 years ago when I signed the lease. So.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that is a good mindset.
Okay. You got any other questions? I have a couple
I
more.
mean, you had so much background of being a chef, but then we're just talking about like the business side of it. Like, did you just learn that along the way as well? Just watching these other restaurants be opened up. Like, how did you learn how to manage that?
Well, I've got that hospitality business degree from
That's true. Forgot about that MSU degree. Yeah.
I learned so much in college. Didn't you?
Yeah. And
Didn't
we
you
said
learn
earlier,
so much real world experience in college?
college is so important. Everyone should go
Intro to somethingology.
Yeah.
No, you just kind of figure it out. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's not as hard as it seems.
I love that. I love
You
hearing
know.
that because people always want to tell you everything's so difficult, which they can be. But the thing is, it's like one, it makes it worth it if it is tough, but it's also like perspective.
And now we've got Chat GPT, right? So if we don't know how to do something, we just like ask it what to do.
100%.
Like, and I've
That
got
is-
a great business partner and my wife, and together we just like, I mean, I remember when I was like, honey, I'm going to need you to learn accounting. Shit you not. Learn accounting. She was like sleepless nights. She's got accounting for dummy books, like
Best business part.
Yeah.
It's and then like I don't know, it was maybe after a couple weeks after seeing her sweat it out, I was like, honey, you're not gonna have to do the accounting. All right, we're gonna hire an accountant.
I'll never forget in college, he Googled how big should the carpet be in my room? Like a rug.
No, it was not carpet. We were looking at buying a rug.
Well,
and he
rug.
always
He
used to
goes,
laugh at me because I would just Google
How big
the
should my
most
rug be
random
for my room?
questions.
Google doesn't know how big his room is. How big should my rug be? It's like
I might have threw some measurements in there. I don't know. This is 15 years ago.
Google everything.
I mean, nowadays you just hold your camera up, right?
now it'll tell you.
What should I do here to give you?
Yeah.
It'll give you examples
2012.
of the different kinds of rugs.
It'll
and stuff
ask
like
you. It'll
that.
be like, can you send me a picture? I'm like, sure. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was a thing, but yeah.
It's wild now. Everything is so.
I know.
It's so different now. I feel like hopefully that aspect will continue to get easier. As we continue to kind of use the tools around us.
I feel like, be honest, when you asked her to go into the accounting, in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm not going to actually have her do this, but you just wanted to see her sweat for a couple days?
My wife, well, I don't really think I realized, and I love you, hon, but she is terrible at math.
Really? So she's
Because now we have kids too, and she's
Do you like reading,
you know, like,
or no?
She's terrible. She's more of an arts girl.
That's what I was wondering. Usually people who aren't good numbers like to read or something else.
Well, there's a lot of art in here. Did you pick some of that out? No.
More like performing arts.
Performing.
Who did the like the design and decor in here? Did you hire
Versa.
Versa?
Versa. She's a local designer, and at the time, she was kind of partnered with an architect as well. But now she just does design, and she did the upright when we opened the upright. She'll do the next restaurant as well. So she's been great to us. She's done some work for us at home. Her name's Jen Childs. Strongly recommend her.
Cool.
Nice. So I haven't ate up here, but I have been to the upright. What? It's just you guys were not having much traction down there. Like, why is it not open currently?
Summer. I mean, like I said, this neighborhood is not. You know, we're not getting a lot of foot traffic.
It's developing still.
Yeah,
You see all the
it's
cranes out
developing.
there.
You see the crane
Yeah.
out there pulling a roof out of the crack house.
Yeah, and like a cocktail bar is like, you're right. It's more like, let me just pop in real
you
quick,
need
get a
people
drink.
popping in,
Yeah.
and when we opened, you know, we were jamming. You know, we were doing 300 covers on the weekends, and the bar up here was full, and so like it made sense.
Yeah.
And then just over time, you know, people settle into their grooves, and you find what your cruising speed is. You know, you get that. You open a restaurant trajectory, although we opened in 2020, so it wasn't quite the same feel.
Yeah.
But 2022 was, you know, when we opened it, it was nuts, right? Every day was packed. It was, you know, crazy. And, and then it just kind of, you know, you kind of lost some traction down there. And I lost like kind of our bartender who kind of built the place and made it what it was and had her regulars. She went on to do a different career.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of said, all right, let's put a pause this summer and kind of see what we can do. And we kind of open it up to pop up. So if there's guest bartenders, come in and take over the spot, and we work out an arrangement where it works for both of us. And so it's still operational, but it's, you know, everything's got to evolve, right? You gotta just kind of, you can't keep smashing your head against the wall doing the same thing over and over again.
No, it makes sense. I mean, the one time I went, it was because I was just kind of popping around this area a little bit, like just drive. I mean, obviously not walking around everywhere, but like driving around. We just popped in a few places. I was like, oh, I haven't been there yet. Let me go check it out. So that's why I was there. So that makes sense.
Well, I want to know why you haven't been in here to eat.
Well, you know, I'm more of a cocktail guy. I bounce around to the cocktail places.
We got cocktails.
I know. I need to get in here.
Yeah.
And I talked to you about it. When we came here, my wife instantly fell in love with this place. She just loved the touch of you coming around, seeing how everyone was doing. So she felt that, you know, top tier hospitality that you talked about from Michigan State.
I'll bring her back.
Yeah,
Let's keep
talking about it. It's my birthday next week, so we were talking about it. Maybe you'll see me next week.
Yeah, I like it.
I do have a legit list in my phone of places I want to try, and I'm not joking you. This is at the top.
Well, maybe
like,
we'll
I've
go
heard
next
so many
week.
good things,
Okay,
and I'm
let's
like, if I'm gonna go sit down and eat, like I need to go there in Detroit. Like,
You should.
We got to see if Vinny's coming here tomorrow if he decided.
yeah, our buddy was talking about
if
coming
he is,
down. Yeah.
we got to figure out how we can fuck with him.
Yeah. How is a Friday, Saturday night? Like, I mean, how early do I have to make a reservation? Like, how's that been going?
I mean, if you want to come at 7:00, you need to probably call a couple weeks out.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
If you're flexible. You know, we usually find something. Saturdays a little bit heavier. Obviously, it's December, so you know it's even farther out. But
Yeah, is that
I
the
don't
busiest time, the holidays?
December is, you know, generally the busiest time for, I'd say, every restaurant. November, December. November is a little tricky because you got holidays. You know, you got like you know, the Thanksgiving holiday. But I think everybody's got different vibes. I mean, you might ask the people downtown, they might say, you know, Red Wing season is the best, or Tiger season, or whatever it is. But usually it's for this kind of restaurant where I have all these private event spaces, I'm getting all the holiday, you know, dinners. So, you know, we had 3 private dining requests last night. As you can see from that big table that's kind of randomly in the front there, we kind of squeezed in some guests for that. You know, 3 more tonight. You know, it's just kind of filling all the spaces.
How late do you guys open?
We're open till 9 on weekdays, on Wednesday and Thursday, 8 on Sundays, and 10 on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, nice.
I got a great question. All right, what's your opinion on TVs in a bar area?
Yeah.
I've got an outlet for a TV over there. I never put it in.
But is it not intentional?
What's your opinion? What's your
I
opinion? I was just
don't-
talking about it because every nice place doesn't have them in Detroit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like the guests that come here want a TV on, but I do feel like there could be exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Like a Lions game on a Sunday or something like that, or a playoff game or something like that.
Right.
like Sunday night football.
But like people come here for
people don't want them yelling during their dinner.
for special occasions, and and yeah, like can't have a $90 check average or whatever it is, and have someone
drunk as hell
throwing French fries at the at the TV or something like that.
Yeah,
So
That would be us.
you kind of gotta
It's a very
balance that.
It's tough. I feel like to
That's
make
funny.
a decision.
But I think you could make a night of it. Maybe
Yeah.
Monday Night Football
Yeah,
or
if there's
something
a
like
big-
that, where you just play it.
Where would you
just
put
get
it
like
where
a
the
projector.
mirror is?
I mean, no, I've got the outlets over there
Yeah,
that
yeah,
are
you
actually
can
there.
have it.
I
Oh, for the
intended
corner?
I intended to have a TV in that area.
yeah.
I never put it in.
Who talked you out of it?
Probably
You?
everybody.
They're all like, it's a nice restaurant. we don't need a
nobody
TV.
wants nobody.
He's like, dude, I'm trying to watch the game.
yeah, nobody wants a TV in here.
Yeah.
No one does.
None
it.
of my guests.
So
none of my staff.
we were at Barpy Gal, and one of the guys working there, he goes, "Yeah, it's like corny. What do you say? It's
Something like
tacky."
that. Yeah,
He's like, "It's tacky."
yeah.
I'm like,
and it kind of, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
Because there's a place and a time to go and watch a game, and a place and a time to come get a
Yeah,
nice meal.
and I think if you had a separation where you had more of a bar room area, you could probably get away with it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But here, it's like
Yeah, it's all
It's
connected
kind
and-
of
yeah.
all right." Before we wrap it up, what's your go-to suggestion for the menu you guys have here?
I definitely eat pasta.
Pasta?
As much as you can.
Any
maybe
of the
some,
pasta?
Maybe some grilled fish, over sole, orata.
What are we about to try?
You're gonna try the gnocchis. I mean, my favorite, right?
What about over here?
Kayla's gonna go back and make them for you.
Yeah.
What?
You got a favorite on the menu?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe we'll get Kayla to make you lamake as well.
The squid ink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Bucatini is kind of the
Any pasta,
legendary
it
one.
sounds like you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
What's
All
that?
right. The
It's all
octopus? Nice.
Basically, it's all good.
Yeah.
No,
That's all good.
The octopus is been on from day one and will not.
Oh, really? Okay. I do like some
Is there a
octopus.
sauce
I'll try
that's
that.
on it?
Well, we make stracciatella, which is like the inside of burrata. So
Yep.
that goes on it. Yeah, there's a lot of sauces on it. There's like a gremolata, there's a lemon vinaigrette, there's saba.
I feel like the more I don't
Fresnos,
know of the
there's
words
grilled
he's saying,
grapes. There's
Yeah.
it's
the
like
better.
Yeah, it's
I'm like,
a
oh
good
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
saba. Oh, saba.
It's got to be good. I've never heard of it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it. Do you have anything that you want to share before we wrap it up that you thought? I feel like we had pretty good conversation.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a
I
lot
think
of cool
it's
shit.
I think it's great that you guys are kind of featuring these, Detroit chefs, these kind of chef-driven restaurants. I think
Yeah.
that, like I said, it's important that someone talks about what's happening here on a regular basis, so that we can continue to grow and we don't get overpowered by the the incoming Philadelphia restaurants, and there's a place for all of it, but it's important that we kind of look after our own and
Yeah.
and see us all kind of the high tide brings us rises all ships.
And
So,
I feel like the
we wanna
marketing, the marketing aspect of it coming from a different angle. Obviously, you're going to have your guests come here, take pictures of all the actual product, and this is great. Come and visit, but we want to come from a different perspective of the behind the scene and draw people in from a different way from your work that you put in. And there's so many great stories to be told, and yours is just in line with all the rest of them that we've talked with. They're unique. But they're all the same in the way that you guys grind, put a lot of time in, and have a lot of passion. So
you gotta love it. It's not an
for
easy
sure.
it's not an easy path. So
Yeah.
if you don't love it, just get out now, because it's not too late.
Yeah.
But if you do, it's great.
Yeah, you don't want to deter anyone that has interest. You
No.
gotta say you just got to make sure you have your passion.
There's the reality of is it takes time and effort. I sat down with the cook yesterday and was like, hey man, you want to go out for New Year's Eve ever?
Ever.
Ever?
Ever.
You can forget it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was walking the dog. I was like, man, the last 23 years I've been in this business, I think I probably had 3 New Year's Eves off.
New Year's Eve though is
And
overrated.
it's when we moved. And
So
it's when
you're
we moved.
actually not missing anything.
I think my wife would like a kiss.
well, you
one
never
of these
you never
years.
ran back into a kitchen one of the years.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just-
She
one of the years jumped back there. Yeah,
Surprise with a little champagne. All right, I gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
it is overrated though.
It
You
is
do
overrated
a couple times, then it's
because the
all
best thing
right.
you can do on New Year's Eve is come to a place like this, have a great
I would
dinner,
rather do
and then
that.
get home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I another thing I want to ask. I mean, you have the awesome stove. Is that what we want to call it? Hearth. That's right. I saw that on the website. Did some reading. But where do you get all the wood from? Is it like a go-to spot?
There is a guy who drops off.
You got a wood
to
guy?
is
all of
it
us,
the
yes.
same one as
Probably.
What's the one in Core City? What's that? Barda?
Barda, yes,
I
it
saw
is.
them. I took a picture of the thing because I have an Argentinian grill at home. I was like, do you guys deliver just to like random people's houses?
I think it's all of us, really. I mean, yeah.
It's the same guy.
Because I am looking for a wood guy. I just built a fire pit in my backyard. I need.
Yeah,
a
but
wood
it's
guy.
different wood.
It's
I know.
a lot of wood.
I know.
But it's different
I'm
wood
not
too.
sure he's going to drop off. Like, I don't know how much wood you need.
Well,
but, like,
maybe I'll just get like a
when
10-year
the-
supply.
When the wood drop comes, it's real.
But
It's got
isn't
a real feel to
cooking
it.
firewood more expensive than your general
It probably is.
log?
I don't think so.
No,
about the
same
same.
shit.
It's all wood.
Yeah, it's all the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll
Ours
give
is
you the
probably
number. I
cheaper
took a
because we buy
picture.
so much
All
of
right.
it.
Okay, yeah, that is true. You buy in bulk.
Yeah,
just like anything.
Yeah, that's what he
All right,
wants.
well, we appreciate it. Anything else?
No.
We're all good.
No, it's
We
been great.
appreciate it,
Excellent.
Jared.
Yeah,
We'll,
nice
we'll
to
see you
meet
guys
you guys.
next
Yeah,
time.
thanks for having us.
We're out.
They say my generation full of dough. We tell them thanks, this is our year. But on the real, they saying slow your roll. As if we don't, we gonna die, but we like it. They don't know what life is. My homie, if he heading to the party, we like it. And that poison be pricey, and they gon' get you hyping. But if you ain't throwing down, then stay at home with your wife. And straight